Hi guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Against the Wind. And in this video, we're going to be looking at how to create your world or the region of the world that you are going to be playing in. And we'll be going through my world, the one that I am creating, Astrogard, a world of forgotten technology, widespread conflict, and rare, unpredictable magic. Right, we are going to create our world, our map of the world. Now, in Against the Wind, there is a neat little system to actually create your own world. It's at the beginning of the book, so it's the first thing that we'll be doing. And it goes through a number of steps in terms of how to create your own map. Don't feel that you have to follow this method. You can draw your map your own way, like you do for other games, from your own creativity and imagination. You can use things like perilous shores as well to create maps. So don't feel that you must use this system to draw the map. It's an option and it's provided for us. There are then followed a number of tables with things like naming the world or the region of the world. And there's also a number of tables here to give us some preliminary data in terms of what the world is, how it works, how the different systems within the region function. So we've got things like technology, communities, justice, conflicts, religion, magic, monsters, origin. Okay, and then the next part, these ones are actually relevant to the winds and the winter, the constant winter, the reasons behind it. So the origins, the legends, the beliefs, and the attitude towards the winds. Now these tables are, as with all tables in this game, they're also in the book of tables. And you can find them right here, page 6, all of the world creation tables. And of course, then we have all the character creation tables, which we'll be doing later. So before we get to the tables, we actually want to draw, or attempt to draw, our map. Now, please be advised, I am not an artist in any way, shape or form. So please don't expect this to be a cartographer's dream in terms of the artistic talent of making the map. If it all goes pear-shaped and all goes bad, I'll just go to Perilous Shores and download one like I did with 5 Leagues. But we're going to try. So in the book, it says the first thing we need is a blank world map or create a 6x6 grid. Now, the game, when you get the game, you get the PDF. It also comes with like a blank 6x6 grid template for doing map drawing. So that's what I'm going to be using. I don't know whether you can see the numbers, but very faint. It has here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Because that's how we're going to be actually generating the map, by rolling 2d6, which is basically the only dice you need for this game. There are some tables where you may want to use a D12 instead. Cezar has said that most of the tables, if not 99% of the tables, have been designed with the bell curve in mind. So when you roll a 2d6, the most common result is a 7. So the tables have been designed with that in mind. But if you really want to have a more random, a more variable set of results, you can go ahead and use a D12 and maybe re-roll ones. But yes, we have our dice, we have our pen skill, we have our eraser. Let us draw our map. Right, so first we get the grid, then draw land masses. Roll 2d6, 1 for the column and 1 for the row. Mark a dot in the corresponding square. It doesn't say that you have to do it in the center of the square. You can see the examples here. And you're going to be doing a second roll and then connecting those areas with some kind of shape. Repeat once more. Draw an organic shape around these 2 dots to represent a landmass. Repeat it 2 more times, you get basically 3 land masses, something like this. So if I roll a 5-1, I'll be putting a dot into that box there, a 3-2, a 2-4, a 2-5, etc., etc. So let's do that first and see whether we get anything that can represent a section of land. So I'm going to have blue x-axis and white as y-axis. So our first point, like I say, don't think it has to be center of this grid, but we'll do that way. Okay, so this is blue, this is white. So our first location is there, and then I don't know whether you can see that. I'll put a cross. I'm going to do it faint with pencil first because I'm going to erase all this afterwards. I don't know whether you can see that. There is a little cross there. Next one is 4-3. So this is going to be our first land mass. Now, again, looking at the book, it's just done some rough sausages. We're gonna embellish those later. So at the moment, I'll just do just a kind of rough sausage like that. So that's the first land mass. The next one, we've got a 3 and a 5, so it's here. And then we get a 2 and a 4, which is here. So this is going to be the next land mass. Something like that. And then the third one, we're going to end up with islands, aren't we? We get a 2 for same location. Should I take that? No, I'm going to re-roll, I think. We get a 6 and a 4, so the third one is here. I really kind of want something up here so I can go all the way over there. And we get a 4, 5 over there, here. I've got 3 islands. Tickable, isn't it? All right, let's do something a bit fat like that one. There you go. Right, now once we've done that, I don't know how well this is going to work. But let's see. Once you've done that, you then need to expand the land masses. For each of the 3 land masses, roll a d6. The number rolled indicates how many additional squares the land mass should cover. Expand its shape in any direction to include these extra squares. Now, it doesn't have to be complete squares. It can just go into another square. All right, so for our first land mass, we are going to expand by 2 squares. Now, what I could do is I could maybe bring the land up into this square, and that would be 1, and maybe over here I could expand into this. I keep saying squares, they're rectangles, but I could maybe bring it over here for another 1, so that would be a total of 2 squares or 2 spaces enlarged. Or I could expand over here into 2 spaces, and again that would count as the 2. Now, we don't have a lot of stuff over here, so I'm thinking I want to expand over in this direction. So what I'm thinking of doing is actually expanding maybe something like that. Yeah, so this is like a bay, could be a bay area, but I've now brought some land mass over this part of the map, so it's not all just confined into this area here. Right, this land mass is expanding 1. Oh God, this is going to be a tiny map. Now I could use that 1 to just connect these 2 together. Or maybe even expand in the center here. Because I'm in this square here. I could expand from here into there, maybe put like maybe a large kind of bay or estuary into here. And then expand maybe like over to here. Now, but you want to know why I'm not going to do that? Because it's going to make this look like a big nosed face. You've got the jaw here, the nose here, the eye here. Then if I do that here as well, it's going to look like a big face. All right, well, I think I'm going to do that. So I'm going to expand from 1 to here. So we're going to do something like this. And something like that. Okay. So again, this is expanding into there. So I'm just connecting this up. So it becomes a larger landmass rather than just 3 islands. And then for this one, which I made very chubby and chunky, I made it very chunky. Sorry, was that off the camera? Again, I do apologise if you can't see the lines properly. They're only supposed to be faint at the moment because we'll be drawing over them. So for this one, we're going to expand by 2 again. Wow, not getting a lot of expansions. Now again, I could join this to here, but I'm thinking that this might be interesting to keep as a separate entity, maybe as an island. We've got 2, haven't we? So I could maybe expand down, and this is already here. I'm thinking maybe here, just expand it a bit more in this direction. So we'll do that. So this is going to go over here to there, like that. So essentially our region of the land that we have here is going to be made up of 2 sort of large islands. How does that compare with the one in the book? Let's take a look. Yeah, the one in the book, he expanded it so it became joined at the bottom. Actually, I could do that here, couldn't I? I could expand this so it actually becomes joined here. So if I want to, for example, journey in this direction off the map, I can create another map for the next region if I do that. So I'm just going to erase that line here. That one there. Sorry about the wobbling camera, but what I'm going to do is actually expand it to the edge. So then we have the option of traveling in this direction on land to connect to possibly another region over here. So this may not be an island, it's actually connected to another larger piece of land, but maybe this is an island there. Okay, good, good, good. What does it say next? Once we have done that, create bays, lakes, or islands. Roll 2d6 again for column and row. If the rolled square is on the landmass, draw a bay or lake. If it's on water, expand a landmass into the square or create an island. Repeat this step 5 times. Okay, so we have an opportunity to expand even more as long as we roll decently. But we're going to be doing it, repeat 5 times. We do it 6 times in total, is it? Okay, so we're doing it, hang on, how many times has he done it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah. So we're going to be doing it 6 times to possibly create islands, bays, or lakes. Okay, let's see where we go. So we're going to be doing this 6 times. Bum, bum. We get 5 and 3. So here, now we can connect. Oops. We can connect to here, or we can make this an island because it's a water area. I think I'm going to maybe expand this one. So should I? Let's see. So I'm going to just expand a little bit into this area here. Like that. So that's 1. Need to keep track of how many I do because I'm going to forget. And that's 1. Next one, we get a 1, 2. So here. Again, I could expand this over to there or make an island. I think I'm going to make an island here. Some kind of maybe a mysterious island there. Okay. That's 2. Now for 3, we get a 5, 2 over here. Again, maybe this is expanding more. Okay. That's 3, 4. We get a 5 and 6. I don't think it's going to be an island. I think it's just going to be this expanding again. So maybe it goes like that. Again, we're going to be doing all sort of the proper sort of jagged outline a bit later. So that's 4, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 2 more. So this is number 5. We get a 6, 5, which is here. So this is on land, so I can actually have a little lake here. I'm going to put it up a bit so it's kind of centered. I don't want it to be too large. Again, we can manipulate the actual shape of it later. And then the last one, we just had that, didn't we? We had that. Okay, so let's have another one. We get 3, 2. Okay, I'm going to put another lake here, I think. maybe a smaller lake. Okay, so we've done that. What is next? Oh, we could have done bays, couldn't we, instead? Never mind, it's all right. I could have done a bay in here, where the land comes into a bay. It's all right, it's okay, I'll have an island there, it's fine. Right, then finalising the world shape. By now your world's general shape should be clear, if a little strange. Clean up the lines, grab a darker pen or thicker pencil to refine the coastlines with jagged lines. Well, that's not really very jagged. That's jagged, that's what we want to end up with, something like that. And then we want to do all the, the coastlines and sort of the sort of sea edges, the ocean edges, like they have on some of the videos. They show us how to do it, something like that. All right, so we want to confirm and refine. Okay, so give me a couple of seconds, and what I'll do is I will come up with an outline, and I'll get rid of all the little interior lines. Right, so I rubbed away all these sort of working lines, and we've got this as our rough shape. Again, it's too smooth to be a proper region map at the moment, but we are going to rough it up in a second. Right, what does the book say we have to do next? Boink. Finalise the overall shape. Okay, we've done that. Coastline details. As you go over the coastline, keep a d6 on your non-drawing hand. At least once per square, roll a d6. If it's odd, push the line in. The higher the number, the deeper you carve in. If it's an even number, pull the line out, forming peninsulas. Higher number, the farther out you extend. Don't be afraid to be dramatic. Okay. So we want to do something like this, essentially. Again, I don't know how good I'm going to be at this, got to be honest. So we're rolling d6, odd in, even out. All right, I've got to try and remember that. Odd in, even out. Okay. So, for this, okay, this is just one square. It says at least once per square, yeah? At least once per square. Okay, so we do the island first. So we're going to go, okay, so 6. So 6 is even, so it goes out. So maybe this is something like, yeah, very rough kind of thing. And maybe it comes out a little bit there. Yeah, something like that. Maybe. We'll do the islands first. So as you're drawing, you've got to roll odd. Push the line in. So it goes in, comes out, goes around. Okay, and then for this lake, we're drawing, and maybe here. Oh, I broke my pencil. Did you hear that? Oh my word. 4 goes out, so it comes out a little bit, goes in. Okay, not very rough, is it? So we're coming along here, we're rolling, odd, oh, sorry, even, pull the line out. So this goes out a bit to even out. Odd in. Odd in. What's that? 4. Even out. It's just random lines. Even out. 3 odd in. Odd in. Odd in. Just doing it randomly, at random positions as I'm drawing the line. In. Out. Shake it all about. You do the okey dokey and you turn around. Even is out, yeah? Okay, do another one here. Odd in. I think that'll do. That's not looking too bad. So the idea is that you roll this as you're drawing it, just at a random points, or maybe once per box, whatever, as Cezar suggested, just to give it a little bit more, yeah, just a little bit more sort of structure. All right, so going here, we're going to start 3 odd in. Next one. God, that's rolling all the way over there. That is odd in. I'm not going to go over there and get it. Okay, carrying on. Maybe at the top here we'll do another one. Even out. Let's get past here because I don't want these two to clash. So we'll go past that. We get an even out. Even out. Odd in. Could be something like a bay. Odd in. Okay, I'm going to go over this in pen later. Maybe I'll do one more down here. Even out. Okay, that's roughly the shape we're going to be having for our land. Okay, it doesn't look too bad. But again, I'm going to be I'm going to be going onto YouTube and looking at some videos in terms of how to actually do to make it look like a coastline and everything. There's some nice videos by some of our fellow gaming creators about how to actually draw maps properly. But yeah, it looks like we have sort of three general land masses. We've got one here which seems to be connected to a land over here in the next region. We've got one large island with a lake, and I've got another lake here, and then over here we've got a small island. That could be maybe a source of some kind of mystery, perhaps. Right. Is there anything else we need to do? Overlaps done. Okay, that's all done. So yes, what we need to do now, but I'm not going to do that on camera. I'll do that off camera. Is actually go around this in pen. And like I say, using ways of showing cliffs and sort of the water line and everything else, and maybe a compass, or what do they call it, a windrose or whatever it's called. Yeah, but I'll do that off camera. But what we can do, this is going to be our world. What we can do now is use the tables to name our world or the region, and then also roll up things like the justice, the religion, the origins of the wind and the winter, all these sort of things here. And for that, I'm just going to go back to the book of tables because it's easier to keep open. Right, so first of all, what is our land called? Now I've put it here in my little journal. I'm going to be using this to keep notes of everything. So, against the wind, the world name or the region name. I'm going to need my other D6. Hang on a sec, that went all the way over there. Right, now, this is one of the places where I think you should use a D12. Because otherwise you're going to end up with the same names every time, yeah? I'm thinking for things like names, possibly... I think these should be bell curve, but I think the name should be a D12. So I'm going to be rolling a D12 and I'm going to be ignoring ones. I'm going to be rolling again if it's a 1. So the first part of the name, the prefix of the name is 6 Astra. And then the suffix is a 9 Guard. Astragard. Okay. I'm thinking this might be the world name, maybe not the region name. That's okay though. What do we got next? Technology. What's the level of technology in this region? In this region of the world? I think the world could have different levels of technology depending on where you are. So I'm thinking that these ones should be for the region. Maybe the origins, legends, beliefs, and attitude could possibly be worldwide. But let's roll them up anyway and find out. Now, for these ones, I'm thinking the bell curve should be applied. So I'll be rolling 2d6. So for technology, what level of technology does our world have? A 4. Archaic, basic, or forgotten. Now, what we're rolling up here is a guide, a rough guide in terms of how the world is going to be and how you should look at the world when you're creating the story. It's actually a very, very nice guide for a GM when they're creating their own sandbox or something. Now, old. My memory's going, so I'm probably going to forget some of this stuff as I'm playing the game anyway. But we have archaic. Okay, I'm going to write this down. I'm not going to show you me writing it down. I'll fast forward. All right, next, communities. What kind of communities do we have in this region? We get a 5. Scattered, isolated, and chaotic. So maybe the distance between settlements is quite large, and maybe there is limited knowledge of neighboring settlements and stuff, and maybe like there's no real central government, possibly. Every village for itself has their own elders kind of thing, possibly, maybe. Because the technology is basic as well. So this could be like a very sort of dark age land that we're actually living in. All right, what's next? Justice. What kind of justice do we have in this region? A 6. Fair, somewhat consistent. Okay. So that probably means that the laws wherever you go in the region are kind of similar in terms of their fairness, in terms of their punishments. So it could be fairly sort of standardized wherever I go. What's next? Conflicts. What level of conflicts do we have inside this region? Bump. Oh, hello. 10 conflicts. Widespread and intense warfare. So this region is actually beset by a lot of sort of tribal war, inter-village, inter-settlement war, regional war, maybe with the neighboring regions, things like that. So, okay, that's something I need to include into the story. Next, religion. What's the style of religion here? I've got a 3. Forgotten deities, whispered suggestions. Ooh, so maybe sort of very pagan in nature, maybe sort of nature-based religions, possibly. Ooh, that could be quite good. Because that may link with the next one, which is magic. It's possible that they view magic as being something God-given or something to be feared, maybe? Now, I just need to check and make sure it's all on camera. Sorry, I was a little bit low there. Right, so next we have magic. What's the magic like in this region? Is it rare, occasional, practical, and widespread? What is it? Because our character will actually have the ability to use magic to a degree. A 3. Ooh, yes, that could play into the sort of low sort of religion, the sort of cautious, worshipping the earth, sort of Gaia kind of thing. This could be a problem because they may find magic to be not allowed, illegal kind of thing. That's a potential. I need to see how the story goes, but that's possible, right? I mean, I think when you do magic or when you use magic in the game, I think there is a chance of things going wrong. I think because I rolled up here that rare, mythical, and unpredictable, I think I may give myself some penalty in terms of the roll, in terms of it being more likely that things go wrong, possibly. And then the last one for this particular section is monsters. What kind of, how common, how deadly are the monsters in this area? We get a 6, present in forsaken places. I mean, what we've seen here with the magic, the religion, the conflicts and everything else, this is why you do the world creation first before you do the character creation, because some of these things may actually need to be reflected within your character as you create it. Like, for example, the magic part. So that's why we normally do the world first. Right, so that's the sort of basic elements of the world Astrogard that we have created there. But there are still 1, 2, 3, 4 more things we need to roll up, which are related to the wind and the constant winter. And these are things that will affect, for each world that you create, maybe there's a different origin, maybe there's different legends regarding the strong winds and the winter of this area. Okay, so first of all we have origins. Again, we're going to be using the 2d6. We get 8. Natural phenomenon, a scientific enigma yet to be unraveled. Now, I have just opened this up a little bit because the entries are a bit longer than what we had up there. Right, so the origins is a natural phenomenon, a scientific enigma yet to be unraveled. So it is something natural, it's not something magical, cursed or divine. It is something natural, but the cause hasn't been defined yet. All right. Well, I mean, since we're living in an archaic, basic or forgotten sort of level of technology, it's not really surprising. Right, next, legends. A 10. Mythic epochs, eras when the frost shaped civilizations and destinies. So maybe, yeah, in terms of history, maybe the frost and the winter and the wind actually shaped the way that the civilizations actually developed in this area. Okay, beliefs. What are people's beliefs regarding the wind and the winter? We get a 7. Respected force integrated into daily rituals and law. So yeah, maybe this is not worshipped or feared, but it's respected. Like I say, as being part of nature, it's just something that is. We have to deal with it. Integrated into daily rituals and law, so it's part of their life. They just accept it as being part of their life. Okay. All right, and the last one, people's attitude. 6. Cautious adaptation, seeking balance while challenging the elements. Okay. So they kind of accept the way life is, but I think they're probably looking for a better life. The general attitude of people is, yes, we accept it, we know it's there, we respect it, we integrate it, we use it, but we're still looking for something better. I mean, you've got here active opposition, a firm belief in the possibility of ending the frost. You've got resigned acceptance, living in harmony, and then you've got this cautious adaptation. So they don't think that it is something that's here forever. It could change, it will change. They just don't know how to do it yet. Right, now, as I mentioned earlier, I am getting old. My memory's not as good as it used to be, so I'll probably forget half of these things as I'm playing the game. But some points that do look interesting is the fact that we have a very low level of technology. We also have very scattered, isolated and chaotic communities. So that means that settlements are few and far between. And it says here, conflicts, widespread and intense warfare. So I'm thinking that the villages or the settlements are not necessarily friendly to each other. There's a lot of rivalry going on. It actually makes me think of, and again, this is going back a way, but there was I think for Games Workshop, there was a 40k book series. I think it's the Space Wolf trilogy or something, telling the story of a sort of a space wolf going from the sort of clans and the villages on, I think the planet's called Fenris, and then he gets into, there's a lot of conflict between his tribe and other tribes trying to take like their land, their sort of slaves and everything else. It's kind of making me think a little bit like that, where the tribes are constantly at warfare with other tribes to sort of repopulate in terms of, slaves and women, livestock, land, riches, things like that. So that's the kind of world that I'm thinking of. And again, this is created in such a way to help you to come up with a good story, a good justification of what you're going to be doing. But this is going to be the guidelines from which the world is going to evolve. Now, the world itself, if I move these things out of the way. Now, the world itself, when you start playing, is pretty empty. I think when you start actually playing, let's go back to the book. You'll start with the exploration procedure. So you're going to roll, basically you're going to take your map here. You're going to roll 2d6 to find out where you start. It could be at sea, it could be on land, but that's going to give you like a starting location. And then you will then use these tables here to generate some information about that place where you're going to start. It could be a settlement, it could be in the wilderness, it could be in a forest, it could be in the mountains. But there's all these tables included, and again, all these tables are in the Book of Tables as well. But apart from that, it doesn't actually say that you should populate the world or sort of place mountain ranges or other settlements or things like that. I think you could maybe put some points of interest, but at the moment it's kind of like a blank slate where we are going to explore and discover things for ourselves. I think that's the way it's supposed to be played. So I am going to go and watch some YouTube videos on how to draw maps nicely, and hopefully this will be in a better state when we come back. Now, up next is going to be character creation.